Also, comic books are sort of naturally cinematic. It's a story of pictures that are in a sequence. It's sort of like a storyboarded film.
To transform Spawn from comic book to feature film, DePay will need all the visual effects techniques he can muster, including computer animation, a 14-foot-tall animatronic puppet, and special makeup effects.
So again, you might want to have your brow up before you get angry. That'll emphasize it. Good, 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 good.
The role of Spawn is played by Michael J. White, seen here beneath layers of makeup and the rubbery facial applications known as prosthetics.
When you're normally on set, you can, you know, your energy can be zapped and you could be lethargic by the time you get in front of the camera. So in this case, since I had something helping my energy to be zapped, I had to then really pull back and just be stagnant in between takes.
Supervising his daily transformation is Greg Nicotero of K&B Effects.
When we do the prosthetics, we do them in individual pieces. If it was all one piece, like, you wouldn't really get much of an expressive range out of it.
Okay, now let me see you move your face now. Why don't you say some lines, do some expressions.
Just sit right back, and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this shopping.
Regrettable deals with the devil, like the one made by Spawn, are a recurring theme in movies. Director F.W. Murnau's 1926 masterpiece, Faust, is the story of a physician who bargained with the devil. An early use of miniatures allowed for this haunting image of the devil cloaking a village under his massive cape. Faust set the standard for future filmmakers who would utilize advances in special effects to further explore the underworld. In the 1992 horror film Highway to Hell, Satan and his devilish cohorts graphically came to life through shocking makeup effects.
I am the Prince of Princes. I once basked in the light of God's love.
Makeup artist Steve Johnson, whose credits include Ghostbusters and Species, used prosthetics to turn an actor into the Prince of Darkness, and a full-body foam latex suit to create the Devil's Bride from Hell. In Spawn, the forces of hell are brought to life in the form of Violator. The terrifying creature appears on screen through both computer graphics and a 14-foot-tall on-set puppet built by Nicotero's team at K&B Effects.
One of the trickiest things about Violator, of course, was, okay, how are we going to get him on the stage? Because there was like a 7-foot hallway clearance around the set. So we literally had to very delicately maneuver the Violator down this skinny hallway and around to the back of the set and bring him in.
Hey, I'll push. All right, now go. Pull him a little more. I don't want to bang him. Ready? Wait. There we go.
People were amazed by it. Just anything that size is always impressive. You walk into a set, you see this big monster, and you're like, wow, that's really neat, cool, I want one of those.
A team of puppeteers operate the Violator through a variety of specially designed radio control devices.
This gotta go up.
For a scene where Violator grabs Spawn and shakes him in midair, the K&B team decides not to use the huge puppet's hydraulic arms, which could pose a dangerous risk to the actor. Instead, they will use a separate pair of insert arms operated by puppeteers.
Sorry, Dick.
Anytime you're dealing with a hydraulic creature, it's literally like a giant forklift. I mean, it's so powerful and so dangerous. There were times when they wanted both arms to come forward and grab Spawn, and I said, well, that's impossible, because if it doesn't, not puppeteered correctly, it could literally crush the actor.
In order to make the effect work, the fingers of the insert hand are wrapped around Spawn and then tied together. Thin cables will lift him off the ground as the puppeteers raise the arms from behind.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. Spritzing. Get it set. How's the smoke, Jonathan? Speeding, raining, lightning, and action. Struggle and lift.
As Violator roars to life, it's not the devil's doing. Rather, it is the engineering and artistic craftsmanship of K&B Effects that brings modern-day movie magic to the ancient conflict between good and evil. Coming up, creating a clown from hell and the evil centaur from Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Action.
On the set of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the forces of good and evil compete in a tournament for control of the universe.
Cut it.
Based on a popular video game, the film features an evil centaur, half man, half beast, that is brought to life through a combination of live-action footage and computer graphics, or CG technology. The effects team at Threshold Entertainment begins by shooting test footage. This might look like an old vaudeville routine where two actors play the front and back ends of a horse, or in this case, a centaur. But the job of these two performers is to provide realistic movement that will later be translated to a computer-generated version of the mythical creature. The process is called motion capture.
What we do with motion capture is, of course, we build the basic structure of the 3D character in the computer. You build their skeletal system. Basically, you need to know extensions from one joint to the next, create a muscular system, put skins on it, just like you would a human, and then you have a CG character in the computer, but it doesn't move. And with the use of motion capture, we recreated the actual moves of what we think a centaur would move like.
Motion capture works by attaching sensors, which look like ping pong balls, to strategic points on the actors. During takes, the sensors are recorded by infrared cameras surrounding the set, and their movement is replicated inside computers. Animators at Threshold are able to apply the motion to digital characters that will later appear on screen and be intercut with close-ups of the costume performers on set.
Okay, got it.
While filmmakers use visual effects to bring hell and its dark forces to life, others find examples of hell right here on Earth. University of Arizona professor Alan Bernstein has written a book and teaches a course on hell.
A concentration camp would be the best example of a hell on earth that I can think of. But there are many others. People caught in a forest fire, people suddenly confronted with a terrible emergency that they're not trained to deal with, where they sense their lives and their children and their property and people dear to them are suddenly at risk. Hell is also inside us in the sense of depression, despair, the dark forces that make us lack confidence and feel that we're not strong enough to do what we ought to do.
Bernstein says the earliest references to hell date back to about 2400 BC.
Hell doesn't come from one place in a culture. It seems to emerge from people's sense that there's no justice in the world, and they wish that the tables could be turned.
The English word hell originates from the Norse goddess Hel, spelled H-E-L, who ruled over the underworld in Scandinavian mythology. Most cultures depict the ruler of hell as the devil, complete with horns and other animalistic qualities.
What they basically represent is bestiality. It's an old theme in at least Western religions that humans were created between the animals and the angels. So if you want to show an angel who really went wrong, you show a celestial being with furry legs and horns and cloven hoofs and a serpent's tail.
Or, in the case of the movie Spawn, you represent evil through a demonic clown from hell.
My breath offend you? My hellish breath?
One big surprise to moviegoers may be that the squat, obese clown assigned by the devil to torment Spawn is actually the normally proportioned actor, John Leguizamo.
It's a Spawn workout video. On the clown program, I lost 20 pounds. I was really thrilled to see what could I do with this, you know, become this whole new creature, and it was amazing. I was in my trailer just staring at myself going, who am I? What am I?
During a daily 3-hour ritual, Leguizamo transforms from mere mortal into clown. While the makeup and prosthetics create a bizarre-looking demon, it is up to Leguizamo to make Clown's obnoxious character come alive.
What I had to do was study the comic book a lot and rip out all the pages and study them in the mirror and try to do the faces and see what kind of character would come from that. The adorable clown. The coy clown. Clown is curly. What? Wait, no.
Final touches, such as a set of ghoulish dentures, blood-red contact lenses, and an obese foam latex bodysuit, complete Leguizamo's conversion to clown.
I am short, fat, and ugly, and that's how I feel. Okay?
And action.
Violator 1, Spawny Boy 0.
John Leguizamo's ability to find the outrageous aspects of clown within himself, along with K&B's inventive makeup effects, have resulted in a devilish villain that transcends the comics and possesses the big screen.
Go on, get out of the way, you annoying freak. I'll slap you silly.
Next, we'll reveal a hellacious visual effects secret.
Saturday, me and Spawn. Madison Square Garden. I guess I'm gonna have to refresh your memory, Amnesia Boy.
John Leguizamo's high-energy performance as clown and the enormous Violator puppet make for the two faces of an unforgettably evil character in Spawn. And the transformation from clown to Violator is perhaps the film's most amazing visual effects sequence. The shocking metamorphosis is the result of digital animation created at Industrial Light and Magic, or ILM. The scene's earliest planning begins here in the art department. Visual effects art director Scott Lebrecht makes detailed pencil sketches of how the transformation should look.
I wanted to make sure that it was a, extremely violent transformation, or something where it looks like he was in pain, or that, he's literally giving birth to himself. So that's why I specifically asked for things like the horn bursting out of his back, the very first thing that happens at full size.
The animation team recreates Lebrecht's sketches inside the computer, beginning with digital versions of each character. But the difficulty is getting from the short, round clown to the tall, spindly Violator. To accomplish this, ILM uses their own software that actually reshapes and scales down the geometric proportions of the Violator to the exact shape of the CG clown model. During the transformation, the Violator is programmed to reshape itself back to full size. Clown's spectacular mutation into the deadly Violator is but one of the highlights of ILM's contributions to Spawn. Co-visual effects supervisor Habib Zargapur oversees the creation of a digital Spawn character as well.
Most of the scenes we did with digital Spawn were because an actor couldn't perform those tasks. For example, being beat into the wall or bashed into the ground or thrown about, which is why we were doing him as a special effect.
ILM was also responsible for creating Spawn's ghostly, long-flowing cape.
It's just really not physically describable, but it's almost like an emotional statement of what he's feeling.
The cape is designed from 6 wedge-like shapes. Later, a software program called Dynamation is used to give the cape its cloth texture and the ripples that are generated as it floats through the air. For a scene where Spawn is walking away from a huge fire, Zargapur's team animates the cape according to the laws of physics.
It would actually be pushed up by the fire, so that give it the impression that it's dancing over the flames. And you can see that effect on the bottom.
In one shot, the animation team even included subliminal details, such as the reflection of a cross dancing off the cape.
We inserted the shadow of a cross here. You can see it right here. And if I start playing it, you can see it dances around on the cape. It gives it more interaction between the cape and the set.
ILM's attention to detail results in never-before-seen artistic images of the immortal conflict between good and evil. Throughout history, humanity has been fascinated by hell and its many mysteries. And during their history, the movies have reflected that fascination. From the silent era's Faust to the fantastic conflicts of Mortal Kombat and the unforgettable demons of Spawn, Hollywood has shown us a world we hope we'll never see.
I think hell will be around for a long time in our minds, certainly in our literature, in our popular culture, in our films. And there's no question of it going away soon.
And as long as that fascination with the underworld exists, Hollywood's visual effects demons will conjure up all the movie magic in their power as they send us straight to hell.